So let's take a little bit of time to find our seat, to feel our body settling. Noticing whether our posture feels comfortable and perhaps bringing some alertness into our posture too, to help us with our intention to be wakeful in this practice. So maybe we can pause a little longer with our intention and just consider gently what is important to us as we practice and what we're going to do here. What are we motivated by when we practice? And seeing if this can be a feeling reflection, not just a thinking one. Can we feel our intention and our motivation for practice? And where can we feel? Maybe in our heart. And then letting go of that little reflection and seeing if we can become aware of the breath within our body, moving our body from the inside in a rhythm of in and out. And if we notice our mind wandering off into thinking, just come back, settle again into our body in this posture, in this place, and feel the rhythm of the breath. And then maybe we can become a little more aware of our out breath. So noticing the releasing of breath and seeing if we can release our engagement with thinking as we release breath, with a sense of softening down into the body. So with each out breath, feeling as if we can become more connected to the earth, more rooted, giving the weight of our body to this seat. So as we become more aware of the field of aliveness and sensation that is our body, we may also notice how we are today, noticing what we're carrying in our body. There may be imprints of emotions, feelings, there may be tension or pain, tiredness, there may be flutterings of anxiety. So just noticing what the inner weather is for you today within your body. Seeing if it's possible not to get consumed into these difficulties that most of us have on any given day. There's usually something around, something of the ups and downs of life. So seeing if we can just notice rather than be consumed. Notice and experience it. And if there is something around for you that's a little bit challenging or difficult, then maybe we can work with that with some soothing words. And if you don't have anything around for you, then you can just let these words filter in anyway. They don't have to have an objective. So the first word is soften. So letting the word soften translate down into the body, into the cells, into the musculature. And if there is something you're working with, letting the word soften gently approach. Letting the feeling of soften surround the difficulty, but without trying to change the difficulty. It's like bringing in a new weather, a softening weather, letting that just be around in our inner atmosphere. Soften, soften, soften. And we'll move to the second word, which is soothe. So letting the word soothe move into our inner atmosphere. And if you want to, you can place your hands on your heart or on the part of the body that you're working with, where the difficulty is held, with a soothing touch. And this is a little bit like placing a hot water bottle next to a sore muscle. Just bringing our soothing warmth close to care and touch the difficulty. Soothe, soothe, soothe. And then a final word, the word allow. So letting the word allow drift down into our body. Releasing any sense of trying to change how it is. Whatever is here, however it is, whether it's wanted or unwanted, seeing if we can allow, or even just allow for a moment, or perhaps a tiny little bit of allowing, where even there is still resistance. Allow, allow, allow. And then we'll let go of these 3 words, knowing that if at any point in the practice it feels like it would be good to revisit them, you can do so. And seeing if we can sit now in the atmosphere created by our soften, soothe, and allow practice. Feeling that there's nothing more we need to do. We've done all the work. We can just be here. Sit in our body, resting on the earth in this place. Letting our mind fall open into this moment. Noticing if there's any striving or pushing or seeking going on, or any preoccupation with thinking. Just returning to resting here in this body, in this space. And as we rest in this way, we may become aware of movement in our inner environment or in our outer environment. Maybe there's the movement of the breath in the body or digestion happening, movement of our eyelids. Maybe there are tingles, the movement of feeling. And externally, we might notice there's life going on around us. There's sounds, people moving about, perhaps traffic noise, depending on where you are. So sitting and resting in our still body, but noticing the movement of life happening inside and outside. So it can sometimes be a little disorientating to sit with no particular focus. And if you feel you need an anchor, then you could use the breath or sound as a support, returning over and over to this anchor if you notice yourself wandering off into thinking. But if you want to experiment with just resting with an open awareness, then you can continue with that. Seeing if we can just be here with a sense of space in our mind, sense of warmth in our heart, maybe noticing if there is still any obstacle or any distraction around, and just letting that be here too in the practice. So seeing if we can sit here in the midst of the life we have, in the midst of this day, this time, this place, these feelings, this body, in the midst of this world, even if we feel encumbered in some way or pulled away, just seeing if we can sit right here in the midst of it all. Just for a moment, being still, like sitting in the eye of a storm. And so we'll begin to close our practice. So just spending a moment noticing any benefit that may have come from practicing in this way, and seeing if you can gather that into your heart for safekeeping so that it can be embodied in life, so that we can then share it with others as well. And the benefits then can spread in widening circles.